What's good, motherfuckers? It is I, the Bishop of Bull Moose, Jason. I'm here to regale you with some information. Vinegar Syndrome, as you probably already know, began their halfway to Black Friday sale just last night, 12:01 a.m. They dropped things, which is, I guess, a nice departure from previous drops of things like Hundreds of Beavers they did on a Tuesday afternoon at noon when normal motherfuckers that make money had to work. This time they did it at 12:01 a.m. when normal motherfuckers that have to work are asleep because they have to get up and go to their normal motherfucker job on Friday morning. So I guess there's just no perfect time to drop a whole bunch of shit. At any rate, nothing really sold out. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to give a little bit of a post-mortem on some of the releases, share a little bit of my opinions and some of the stuff that I bought, as well as to deliver a timely PSA. Now, Vinegar Syndrome, as you probably already know by now, they have released a slate of films across the month. They released some on the 1st of May. We found out about Golden Child on 4K, Jade on 4K, Dirty Work also on 4K, and Swimming to Cambodia, the cinematography release for the month of May. Then, of course, there is some more shit that just got revealed last night at 12:01 a.m. That is the Iron Angels trilogy. That's 1 through 3 of a pretty bonkers looking Hong Kong action set. I have to admit that one whet my appetite a little bit. Charlie One Eye, which I know nothing about. Breathless in 4K, the Richard Gere version, not the Jean-Luc Godard version. The Dark Half in 4K. Let's Scare Jessica to Death in 4K, as well as re-releases of alternate slip covers. So some limited edition, some new limited edition re-releases of films that have already sold very well for Vinegar Syndrome in the past, like Showgirls on 4K, From Beyond on 4K, and Amityville on 4K. So those are three that they're kind of bringing back out, even though you could get the standard releases of those. They're bringing those back out and giving them new variant slip covers to kind of, I don't know, it's like a new limited edition. It's like their loophole, right? They did 7,000 copies of the Amityville limited edition some years ago, and they said, it's strictly limited to 7,000 copies of this limited edition, but it doesn't mean that in the future we won't drop a whole new limited edition, which is really just the same exact movie disc, special features, transfer, everything like that. It's all the same. They're just dropping it into a new piece of cardboard, but it fucking works on people like me. Let me tell you something. I snapped up Amityville in 4K because I did not have that limited edition. So I was like, click. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for giving me another crack at this to make up for my previous mistakes. Now, this is really kind of what I wanted to talk about today, but I've heard a lot of folks here on YouTube, as well as on internet forums, Blu-ray forums.com, Blu-ray.com forums. Did I say that right? I don't know if I said that right. But anyway, a lot of people complaining, bitching and moaning a little bit. I don't begrudge somebody having some complaints. I'm here for it. But anyway, I see a lot of people complaining about this particular release slate, about the secret titles being weak, about the secret titles being re-releases of things that were released previously in maybe an earlier format like Blu-ray. And so it seems like, particularly amongst the veteran collectors, there seems to be like a general lack of enthusiasm. It seems to be really focused around the fact that this release slate is largely made up of things that had been released previously. And if you will humor me for a moment, I would like to play devil's advocate in today's video to illuminate the bright side. I think it's not all doom and gloom. I understand the complaints. I'm not here to completely invalidate the complaints that people have because there is some legitimacy there, but I am here to kind of point out maybe there's a more positive spin that we can take on this, and hopefully I don't sound like too much of a Vinegar Syndrome nut hugger here, but I just wanted to share a counterpoint because I personally am fairly excited about this month's slate of releases. I think with the exception of Let's All Fly to Cambodia, or Let's Swim to Cambodia, or Dead Kennedys, Holiday in Cambodia. That's what they should have called it. Swimming to Cambodia. At any rate, I'm pretty excited about the rest of them, and I'm almost certainly going to buy the rest of them maybe with the exception of Charlie One Eye. I don't know, but the rest of these I'm gonna buy at some point in the future, be it a sale or not. I'm definitely gonna be picking some of these up, and I'm excited to do so. I can't wait to watch some of these. So let me try to put my spin and share some of my excitement, and maybe that'll get people thinking a little bit differently about the release slate, if not completely change their mind. I'll start with the most basic point that I want to make, and that is that the general consensus online on YouTubers in this BlueTube space or people posting on forums, the consensus seems overwhelmingly to be that Vinegar Syndrome produces very high quality 4K restorations. My own opinion coincides with that. I do agree. The 4Ks that Vinegar Syndrome has put out that I have seen have always looked very, very good. There's a little bit of an issue with the original elements for the film Madman. That was a 4K that Vinegar Syndrome put out a few years ago, and if you've watched that, then you know what I mean. There are a few scenes where you can tell that the film, the original negative, has been very, very damaged. It's glaringly obvious the damage to the original negative, and yet the scenes that are not marred by damage to the actual negative itself look phenomenal. And the rest of Vinegar Syndrome's 4Ks, I think, stand testament to the kind of work that they do. And there are plenty of 4Ks that they've released that have more pristine elements. So, the general consensus is it's not just me saying this, but I know there's tons of people out there who have said it over the years. Vinegar Syndrome 4Ks are very, very good. So on the face of things, we're getting more 4Ks from Vinegar Syndrome, and so that has to be a good thing. If Vinegar Syndrome 4Ks are awesome and we're getting 4Ks that we didn't have before from Vinegar Syndrome, then to me, just at its most basic level, that's a positive thing. Whether you're excited for the movies or not, maybe you don't give a shit about the Golden Child. I've heard plenty of people say that. It's a 4K that we did not have before, and Vinegar Syndrome 4Ks are excellent. They're very, very good. So to me, it's a net positive in the grand scheme on an aggregate level when we're talking about tens of thousands of collectors out there. Just to take a quick look through some of these titles, I'll point out some upsides to some of the individual releases, starting with the Golden Child, because I just mentioned it. It's on my brain. I feel like the Golden Child is pretty much a perfect match for the Vinegar Syndrome Ultra or VSU line. In my opinion, that's like exactly the type of film that they created the VSU line for. It slots in very well with some of their other releases. So, I mean, it feels like a no-brainer. If I'm at Vinegar Syndrome and I have the opportunity to license the Golden Child and I'm already sitting on a line like VSU, I'm thinking, shit, yeah, let's get an Eddie Murphy film from the 80s in this line and let's make some sales. So there was a Paramount Presents Blu-ray of the Golden Child released in 2020. So yes, it's already been released on HD, but it's not very likely that the Golden Child would have seen a deluxe 4K release like this, like in a magnetic snap case with a 40-page, 50-page book with writing on the movie. There's no way the Golden Child was going to see that level of deluxe release without the VSU line. Like if Vinegar Syndrome didn't exist, I'm not sure when we would ever see a 4K of the Golden Child. Additionally, the VSU includes a lot of special features that are not on the Paramount Presents Blu-ray, including a commentary track that wasn't on the Paramount Presents Blu-ray. So it's already an upgrade there too. So for fans of the Golden Child, I mean, this is great news for somebody who, like me, remembers that movie very fondly. I have nostalgic memories of watching that in the late 80s and early 90s. I had taped it off of cable. I'm sure it was like TBS or some shit. And I taped it some Saturday afternoon. I had a tape. I used to have to fast forward through the commercials and shit. But I mean, that was how you did it when you were 8 years old. And it was 1989 and you wanted to watch The Golden Child. I was into that shit. So for me, this is good news. I don't own a copy of The Golden Child. I'm happy to buy it on 4K and have a little nostalgic trip down memory lane. You guys know me. Nostalgia is my drug of choice. I might love alcohol, weed, shrooms, LSD, ecstasy, heroin, Marijuana. Did I mention shrooms? I said shrooms once already, but I really like shrooms, so I'm going to say them twice. I might like all of those things, but nostalgia is above all of those my drug of choice, bar none. I do love me some nostalgia. So for people who aren't big fans of the Golden Child, no big loss, right? This is a VSU. You don't have to get it. You're not going to get it if you're a sub. You're just okay. Ignore it. Save 45 bucks. It's all good in the hood. Nobody's going to get mad at you for not buying a fucking movie. Dirty Work had a Blu-ray release in 2015 from Olive Films. Apparently, it was Olive Films. That's what I read on the internet. I don't have this one either because that was 10 years ago. I wasn't buying shit on Blu-ray in 2015. I was watching the fuck out of some Netflix, and I didn't have no time for physical media back then. I was like, whatever. I got Netflix for $8 a month or whatever the fuck it was back then. It's like $2.99 a month or some shit for Netflix back in the day. Y'all remember that? Inflation's a bitch. Thanks, Obama. Anyway, the 2015 release of Dirty Work has been out of print for some time. It's a 10-year-old release. And so until very recently, when Vinegar Syndrome announced the 4K of Dirty Work, that 2015 Blu-ray was going for disgusting markups on eBay. People were selling that thing for $100, over $100 for a single disc Blu-ray, simply because they could, simply because they had cornered the market. Supply was very, very low. And if you had a copy or two of that movie, you could ask whatever you wanted for it. Park that bitch on eBay for $125. Can you imagine what fucking place in hell has the devil reserved for the kind of person that takes what ought to be a $12 single disc Blu-ray in a stupid blue fucking case that doesn't even have a slip cover, not a steel book, not a chunky box, not a rigid anything, and wants to charge over $100 for it just because you don't have any other option? They know you don't, so they're squeezing you. These are disgusting people. Fucking scalpers. So in my opinion, rescuing Dirty Work from out of print land where scalpers could charge you over $100 for one fucking Blu-ray disc that's 10 years old, that's the best part. In my opinion, this 4K is worth it just to move this thing out of being $125 and be in, I don't know, it's like 45 bucks, I think, for the limited edition. So that to me was worth it right there. Plus, it's a Vinegar Syndrome 4K. As we have already established, those look good. Plus, Dirty Work has a wealth of special features. There ain't shit on that Olive Films Blu-ray. This has two versions of the movie, both versions presented in 4K. That Olive Films release only had one version of the film, and it was not Bob Saget's director's cut. R.I.P. to the man, the SAG man, as I used to call him. Anyway, Jade also had a Blu-ray release. This one from 2010. That's old as fuck, dog. Do you think they even knew how to do transfers in 2010? I don't know for sure. So tell me in the comments, what did they do? They just like rub two sticks together? Did they even have computers back then? I don't know. I don't know. Did Pornhub exist back in 2010? I think maybe it did. What did I FAP to in 2010? I don't remember. At any rate, I think a new transfer in the 4K format is a welcome upgrade for a Friedkin film. It's not like they're hitting you with a format upgrade after only 3 years or some shit. The old ass Blu-ray had only one cut of the movie. And again, the goddamn theatrical trailer was the only bonus content on the 2010 Blu-ray of Jade. So now the VS 4K comes with two cuts of the film. You get a director's cut, you get a commentary track, and you get a bunch of other shit that was not available on the 2010 Blu-ray. So I don't think you can complain about Jade. It's another worthy upgrade, in my opinion. And in my opinion, this is what a Friedkin film deserves. And then you got the dark half. This had a Blu-ray from Shout Factory back in 2014. So again, 11 years ago. The Vinegar Syndrome 4K is a new 4K restoration versus the 2K restoration from the Scream Factory version of 2014. The special features from that Scream Factory Blu-ray are present in the Vinegar Syndrome release, plus about a half hour or so of new features. So again, it's probably a worthy upgrade here, especially since it's been 11 years since the Blu-ray release. And I'm sure Scream Factory would have put it out on 4K if Vinegar Syndrome didn't do it first. But I have to think that Scream Factory had an opportunity. I mean, Scream Factory's been putting stuff out in 4K for several years now. Probably at least 3 or 4 years. Scream has been very dedicated to the 4K format. So yeah, you have to imagine that they had a crack at the dark half, and who knows, maybe the sales on the Blu-ray weren't good enough for them to consider the 4K, and Vinegar Syndrome, they're rolling the dice with it. Who knows? But at any rate, this is one that I haven't seen since Jesus. I probably haven't seen this since the 90s. And I don't remember this film very well because, as I said, there's a laundry list of drugs that I like. And so my brain tissue does not function as it once did. And memories from that long ago are maybe not in the best shape anymore. So I'm looking forward to revisiting the dark half. I'm hoping that it makes it to a 50% off sale, and then I can nab it for a good price because I am a savvy shopper. Grand Jan taught me well. Let's Scare Jessica to Death was released on Blu-ray by Scream Factory in a more recent year of 2020. So if you want to complain about that, fine, feel free. The new 4K restoration, it's got a new commentary in addition to the older commentary. Those are kind of the main selling points here. I think if you're a fan of Let's Scare Jessica to Death, the 4K is welcome. The fact that the 4K restoration is coming from Vinegar Syndrome, I expect Let's Scare Jessica to Death to actually look quite good. I have not seen it. I watched the trailer for it. I expect it to look quite good in 4K. I am looking forward to seeing it. It sounds creepy as fuck. It looks creepy as fuck from the trailer. So I'm definitely feeling like, let's wait till everybody's asleep and it's quiet as shit in the house, and then let's eat some edibles and watch that shit, dog. So let me know if you're down. All right, hit me up in the comments. You can come up. I got edibles for everybody. I live in Maine where that shit is perfectly legal. Come on up, dog. Let's go get some peach ring edibles. Boom. My kids will think they're candy. We got to hide them or eat them all. Yeah, Breathless. This was first released on Blu-ray by Shout in 2015. I don't know if people really know that because everybody seems hyper fixated on the fact that Fun City Editions also released it on Blu-ray in 2023. Fun City Editions being kind of the darling for a boutique label for a lot of people on the internet. A lot of people on the internet. It's like it's not cool to say Vinegar Syndrome's your favorite or Arrow's your favorite or Criterion is your favorite, God forbid. You get pantsed. If you say Criterion's your favorite, immediately somebody runs up behind you, screams nerd, and they yank your pants down, and you get pants, and everybody just points at your little balls and starts laughing. So that's why you don't say Criterion is your favorite, but you don't say Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome's your favorite either, because then you just sound like you started collecting a month ago and like you don't know any better. And it's not the cool thing to say. It's not cool to say Vinegar Syndrome is your favorite. It's cool to say Fun City Editions is your favorite because you have to collect for at least 3 to 4, maybe 6 months before you really know. Like Fun City Editions, oh, I know who they are. That is like, that's what the cool kids say. Like, I like Fun City Editions. You know why? I like obscure 90s movies on Blu-ray. Married to the Mob, motherfucker. Coca-Cola Kid, hell yeah. Fucking Heartbreakers, but not the one with Sigourney Weaver and Jessica Love Hewitt's titties. All right, I mean, I guess I'll check it out. It doesn't have the titties, but okay. So Breathless was one of those releases. Now, Fun City Editions used to be a partner label under Vinegar Syndrome, and you probably already know that, but they bounced, as you probably already know, they bounced about 2 years ago. They said, peace, we'll just do it ourselves and sell direct through our website and suck it. And I think Vinegar Syndrome was like, haha, telling me to suck it, huh, motherfucker? And so it feels like slightly petty move for Vinegar Syndrome to poach one of Fun City's bigger releases like that. I mean, Breathless being a 80s film starring Richard Gere, you know, it's not, obviously it's not quite as big as some of Richard Gere's other, you know, American Gigolo, but that's why Arrow has American Gigolo, and Fun City Editions is not going toe to toe with Arrow in a bidding war for American Gigolo. So at any rate, this felt like one of the bigger gets for Fun City Editions. They snaked Shout Factory on a little bit, but then, you know, I guess, you know, Fun City Editions got too big for their britches, and Vinegar Syndrome was like, hey, I got to remind you motherfuckers, who is the real motherfucker in the room? And they did. And so they're one-upping them with a 4K release of Breathless on the cinematography line. It's an inside joke, people. I know how to pronounce cinematograph, okay? I'm saying it wrong to be funny. At any rate, I'm here for the pettiness. I dig it, and I did not get Breathless from Fun City Editions. It goes for stupid amounts online. I don't know if you've seen. Now it goes for normal amounts. It's back down to like $30, a very reasonable Blu-ray price. But before this announcement, you best believe motherfuckers were trying to get 50, 60, $70 for Breathless from Fun City Editions. And now, fuck them. That market just eroded underneath their feet. Fucking scalpers. Go fucking eat a dick. Anyway, I'm down for Breathless in 4K too, because I don't have it. And now I'm getting a 4K with more bonus features. Iron Angels, I'm excited about. I'm excited about this one. It's like $37 for 3 movies. You're getting 3 movies for like $37. It's practically a box set, right? All the homegrown horrors and televised terror and all those other box sets that Vinegar Syndrome put out only have 3 movies in them each. So like this is practically the same thing. I mean, in terms of the amount of content you're getting, it's a lot, and 37 or $38 for it seems to me like a no-brainer. Plus, it looks like a batshit loco trilogy of 80s Hong Kong action movies. So like, fuck yeah, that's 3 things I love. Batshit loco, 80s Hong Kong action shit. Those are 3 fucking things I love. Sign me up. I might not even wait for that thing to go on sale. I just want to watch that this weekend, man. Anyway, as for the re-releases of Showgirls, Amityville, and From Beyond with the new slipcovers, the only alternatives before last night were to either buy the standard editions, which, perfectly reasonable thing to do, or, which is what I would have done, pay the inflated eBay prices for the out-of-print limited editions. You got a bunch of slipcovers on your shelf. You don't want the standard edition of Showgirls. Well, now you have an opportunity to get Showgirls with a slipcover for like $23. I mean, it's objectively good for the consumer that new limited editions get released for these movies because it provides more options. Now there's a third option. Go get the new limited edition slipcover from Vinegar Syndrome this weekend for like $23 for a 4K with a limited slipcover. And these are excellent 4Ks. The things that have been said on the internet about Amityville 4K, I can't wait for that motherfucker to come in. I'm going to fucking do a backflip. I'm just going to watch that thing immediately. I think it was my man's Chase from AV Pop Culture who was saying wonderful things about how good that transfer looked, how amazing that 4K looks. I can't fucking wait. And the fact is, I got it with a limited edition slipcover for $23. Dude, that's a steal. Where the fuck are the motherfuckers bitching about how expensive physical media is? Like, steelbooks are $60. Guess what? I just bought a Vinegar Syndrome 4K with a slipcover for $23. That's a fucking steal. Brand new, I might add. Not used, not scratched, not with somebody else's jizz and fingerprints on it. Bro, I mean, like, if you want to complain about the price of physical media, steelbooks used to be $36 a couple of years ago, and now they're $46 or $50. Sometimes they even ask $65 for them in the beginning. And I think, fuck that. It is unfortunate that they've gone up so much so fast. But on the other hand, there are deals out there. I mean, From Beyond. I got From Beyond with a slipcover for $23 for a 4K, for a brand new Vinegar Syndrome 4K. I'm just saying, there's still good deals out there to be had. And if you buy $23 4Ks from Vinegar Syndrome, then you're not going to bitch about how much the stupid fucking Deadpool and Wolverine was $65 on the Walmart website. Fuck Deadpool and Wolverine. Anyway, the fact is, a lot of people, myself included, don't own previous Blu-ray releases of any of these films that I just talked about. So for me and people like me, these deluxe editions with 4K restorations from Vinegar Syndrome, who we've already agreed they do a great job at that. It's a fantastic value proposition for customers like me. Like I was just saying, I got Amityville and From Beyond for $23 each. $46. That's Tombstone right there. But I just got 2 Vinegar Syndrome 4Ks with slipcovers. I mean, I can see people making the argument that because Vinegar Syndrome will always have operational limitations, personnel, resources, they're always going to be a cap to these things. You've only got so much capital to work with to acquire licenses and to pay your employees, and you've only got so many employees because of those other resource limitations. So there's always going to be a cap on what Vinegar Syndrome can accomplish in any given time period. So when Vinegar Syndrome focuses on re-releasing movies on a 4K format, that already have serviceable Blu-ray releases. That means that Vinegar Syndrome is neglecting some hidden gem or cult classic that has never before been published on HD or even on disc, like The Keep. I mean, they did The Keep last year, and that had never seen a disc at all. That hadn't seen a home video release in something like 30 plus years. That's the type of shit that these people are saying. Like, they want to see more shit like that. On top of the fact that you're going to eventually run out of shit that's never been on disc. That will eventually happen. It's a kind of like a zero sum way of looking at it. Like, Vinegar Syndrome does A, which means they can't do B because they're focused on A. And to some degree, it is true. But on the other hand, if they focus on A and they make a shit ton of money, that helps subsidize their release of B and C, these other things like Blood Tracks or something like that, or The Carpenter, that we're all happy to pick up, but it's not exactly flying off the shelves and making a fuck ton of profit the way Dirty Work is, for instance. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome working on The Golden Child and Jade means they don't have time or resources for something else. And I think that's the crux of people's complaint currently. As a counterpoint to that, though, I would simply offer that this shit is selling, especially Dirty Work. And so here's your PSA, okay? Word to the wise, listen up. Don't click away from this video until I'm done saying this, at least. Dirty Work has sold about 8,500 copies of its 10,000 copies for the limited edition. So that is under 20% of its stock left remaining on the limited edition. So you might want to get on that, bruh. If you want the limited edition, now is your chance. You may not get another chance. Dirty Work will not be making it to a 50% off sale later in the year or next year. It's not selling as fast as The Keep, mind you, but Dirty Work will be gone soon, likely by the end of the month. So June rolls around. My guess is Dirty Work is bye-bye. And I think as more and more people hear this message coming out of my mouth right now that supply is dwindling on Dirty Work, more and more people are going to come out of the woodwork to pick it up now while they can. Okay. People are happy to wait on something when there's over 2,000 copies left. As soon as that bad boy dips to under 1,000, it starts picking up a little bit. And you better believe when it hits less than 100, that's when the desperation sets in and the FOMO hits harder than a motherfucker. That FOMO starts hitting like 80s Mike Tyson, right? And you gotta go get that thing quick. So now might be the time, my people. I'm doing this for you as a service announcement, okay? Now, it seems like the complaints about re-releases are inherently a product of long-time collecting. Okay, so for newer collectors who are just coming to the hobby, a re-release isn't a problem as much as it is an opportunity for them to get a great release. A 4K, a Vinegar Syndrome 4K is going to look good, and they get to pay standard retail for it. They get to pay $35 or $40 or $45 instead of 100 or 125 or some dumb shit. Go Google how much Roadhouse is going for right now. The limited edition of Roadhouse is going for right now. And you'll wish that you could have bought the shit when it was $40. So people who have been collecting for long enough to have bought the Blu-ray of Dirty Work 10 years ago, they already have Dirty Work. So they're not begging for a re-release of Dirty Work, of course, but a person who has only been collecting for a few years, they might not have Dirty Work. And because secondary prices are such a big deterrent, they might have felt like they're not ever going to get Dirty Work. Will they have to pirate it? Maybe they'll have to pirate it. So looking on the bright side, new collecting motherfuckers get to buy Dirty Work for less than $90 now, at least for the rest of the month until that bitch sells out. That bitch is selling. So if you already own Dirty Work from 10 years ago, you don't have to buy Dirty Work now. So theoretically, it should work out for everybody, except Vinegar Syndrome subscribers, because Dirty Work is a mainline title. So if you're a subscriber, you're getting the limited edition of Dirty Work. It is what it is. The one person that I understand being disappointed is the subscriber, because the subscriber that already has Dirty Work from 2015, they're getting it again. It's part of their subscription. Even if they're satisfied with their 2015 copy, maybe they don't even like the movie that much, they can always sell the Vinegar Syndrome version of Dirty Work. It's going to be out of print soon, like I said, and they could make a little bit of money by selling that limited edition of Dirty Work, make a $10, $20 profit off of that. So again, it shouldn't be a huge loss for them, but I can understand somebody subscribing to Vinegar Syndrome because they want to support the label, but they also want to be exposed to a bunch of like wild new movies. They want to get some crazy schlocky shit. They want to see more blood tracks and being disappointed because they're getting hit with these re-releases instead, especially if they're longtime collectors and they already have some of these. Again, I can understand the mainline subscription titles being re-releases. I think I would say limit that if you can, Vinegar Syndrome, because then you got happy customers. If it's a sub-label release like of the VSU of the Golden Child, nobody's getting that as part of their subscription anyway. So a subscriber is not going to be as upset about the VSU being a re-release because again, they haven't already paid for that up front like they did with Dirty Work. Something that longtime collectors ought to know by now, and something new collectors will learn eventually, is that re-releases are inevitable for most movies. I mean, most movies are going to get re-released given time in the future. Many movies that are old enough have been released on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, maybe even Laserdisc, and now increasingly these movies are seeing 4K releases. Dirty Work got a VHS release in 1998. The DVD followed shortly thereafter in 99. How pissed would you be? Let me tell you something. In 1998, if I bought Dirty Work on VHS and then a year later they released it in a vastly superior format of DVD, I would have been fucking pissed. I'd have been like, this thing's not even a year old yet, you motherfuckers. Blu-ray came out in 2015. Now the 4K is coming out in 2025. I mean, do you guys think that this 4K from Vinegar Syndrome is going to be the last release for Dirty Work? Like going into the future, 10, 20, 30 years? I mean, if some future 8K format comes out, I think films like Dirty Work, Jade, The Golden Child, I think they'll all likely find their way to that new format eventually. Maybe not immediately, not the first couple of years of that format, but eventually, once a format's been around long enough, they start digging down a little bit, re-releasing stuff. If you don't believe that 8K is coming, you think that 4K is the terminal format. I think even still, some eventual future re-release will occur. It's how companies like MGM and Vinegar Syndrome make money. And they do it. I mean, look at Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, shit. They release very few new movies. Mostly they release shit that's like 20, 30, 40 years old, maybe even older. So Arrow, look at Arrow. They're releasing stuff from the 90s. They release stuff from the 80s. Criterion Collection, they release stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s. So a lot of these companies, it's their bread and butter to release stuff that has already been released before. They're just trying to do it better. New format, new restoration, new special features. They're just trying to do it better to entice fans to buy the motherfucker again. Double dipping is here to stay, my friends, and I'm sorry for it, but in some cases, we're going to get better results. I think that the 4K of Dirty Work is going to be a far superior product to the Blu-ray that was released a decade ago. So with re-releases, you got two choices, right? You live with the version you've already got or you upgrade. For my part, I'm happy to pick up this month's releases because I don't have any of them yet. And I'm looking forward to rewatching some of these like Dirty Work and The Golden Child. I don't think I've seen either one of those movies since the 90s, maybe the early 2000s for those, but it's probably been about 20 years or maybe more since I've seen either one of those. I'm very much looking forward to revisiting those on Vinegar Syndrome 4K. So whether you agree with me or not, my takes in this video, you don't have to agree with me. I love you. Whether you agree with me, you don't agree with me, I'm a Buddhist and I love you. Okay. Jesus loves you. More importantly, I don't know that Buddha gives a fuck. He might be a little indifferent, but regardless, but the real bitch move, I think, is to complain about these re-releases and then turn around and buy them anyway. So if you bitch, guess what? You're forbidden. Don't be a bitch. Don't do it. If you complain, you can't buy. And if you want to buy, then don't complain. Don't be a bitch, Warner Brothers. Peace. I'm out. The fuck.